Hello, everybody. Scrub Sandwich here. I hope you've all had a good day. It's been 12 days since my last upload, but at least that they're coming out more frequently. For the four of you there are, but for the four of there are. Here's another video. Okay, so I about that pizza game. All right, it was submitted today at the STEM fair that I think I mentioned in the last episode, because that's what it was for. Is for a school project. Um, and I think it did pretty good. There's a lot of people who really enjoyed playing it. Now I mean, if we're being honest, it's kind of a buggy mess, and they knew how scrappily it was thrown together. But I think that it's a lot of fun to play. Um, and so I thought that I would show it with you guys, and show it to you guys rather, and maybe I can run you guys through it. Um, so the title of the game is Lightning Delivery. Don't know if I stated this before, but there it is. Right. I would go on the full screen, but Open Broadcaster software is going to have an aneurysm if I do. Um, but it also works with a controller. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I do have a controller. Maybe if I hit a button, you can hear the noise. Maybe. I don't know. But it does work with a controller, so and the goal of the game is these houses turn on randomly, and they start at the color blue, and they'll start degrading in color, and as they degrade in color, you'll get less points. And so your goal is just to last as long as you can, and to deliver all the pizzas to get to the next level. Um, as you can see, pro gamer. Um, so it's relatively simple. There's nothing much to it. But it was pretty fun, and a lot of the people there had a good time playing it. And this is my first completed game that I've completed with Godot. So now that I've got that, oh shoot, okay. And that's what happens if you get shot by those guys, okay? No, this is the first complete game I've completed with Godot. Or actually by myself, really. It's up on itch.io if you guys would like to play. There'll be a link in the description if you're interested. But yeah, this took me maybe since October, so 4 months maybe, but realistically maybe only a few weeks, because I didn't spend as much time on it as I would have liked, and there's a lot of features that I cut out because I was lazy and I just didn't work in it as much as I should have. Anyways, so there's a lot of features I wish I could have added, and a lot of features I will add. I'm thinking, well, obviously going with the pizza theme, deluxe pizza. I'm thinking of making Lightning Delivery Deluxe, adding more enemies, obstacles rather, and making the game a little more difficult and a little more just refined and polished than what it is right now. Like whenever you deliver a pizza, it doesn't even play a sound effect. Or even play a sound effect when a house appears. So, there's definitely room for polishing the game. But, of course, that can obviously be done. So, what things do I want to add? So, while I was making the game, well, obviously since this is a retro game, I wanted to adhere to a strict screen resolution. And since I wanted to adhere to a strict screen resolution, I didn't want to do something like, oh, well, the screen isn't big enough, so I'll make it bigger. But, now that I'm done with this first version, I can make not a sequel, but maybe an expansion, and make it look a little better, and make the screen a little bigger. That way I can, do some more stuff. Like, one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to have down at the bottom of the screen water, and what's the significance of the water? Well, I'm thinking like when you get struck by the lightning, right? Here's a little electrocution animation. When I add other enemies, I was thinking of adding different animations for those enemies based on how you died. So like, I don't know, maybe if like a bird pecked you, you kind of like turned it to a triangle. That makes no sense, but I feel like it makes sense in my head. You kind of like angle with the angle of the beak that hit you. Or like maybe there could be cars down on this bottom rung that run over, and then with the water, every time you die, it'll play a death animation, and then you'll fall down into the water, similar to the original Mario Bros. Arcade game. So, and I'm trying my best to rack up as big a score as I can. There is no rewards for score. That's something I wish I added. And then with the water, I was also thinking of sometimes it could be replaced with lava, which wouldn't hurt you on its own, but could, kind of like pop up lava bubbles, and they'd kind of like oscillate back and forth coming up from the bottom of the screen, just as another obstacle, but it could be themed. I was also thinking of adding bosses. Again, a little bit overscoping, but this is kind of just, it's not a project that needs to be done or that I'm even really thinking of doing, but just, things that I could add. A lot of the game's mechanics is move to this area once this thing happens. So it is a little bit of waiting, but I feel like for a boss fight, that could be, it could be doable. Like maybe instead of a house right here, it could be like a cannon, and then a switch on this top row to shoot the cannon. And there could be a boss up here at the top, like maybe a really big cloud. Okay, up at the top of the screen, he's looking down at you, and he shoots these little like cloud ball or these like lightning balls that like bounce around the screen, kind of like a ball in Breakout or Pong. Okay. So, there's definitely room, to do some more interesting things with the game. But again, I'm probably gonna work on something else before I go back to making. Oh. You could kind of hear some of the music that I made. In fact, making the music for these games is one of my favorite parts. And then obviously there's some music tracks that I didn't get to implement just because the features behind them were never implemented, like this background piece right here. Which I might have shown in the last video. And then there's the, I wanted to add a coffee minigame, because back in 2018 I made a version of this game, but I made it on this little like no programming game engine. It was really simple, it was really basic. It didn't have the features that are in this one even, but every now and then there'd be a level where there were like coffees instead of houses, and you'd have to like run and pick up as many as you could. And it wasn't really difficult because there was no timer, and then also, they were all just there and there was no obstacles. So it wasn't a difficult minigame, or even a minigame that you could lose. It was actually one that was kind of mandatory to win to get to the next stage. But one thing is that I wanted to add a minigame where either the floor is really slick and you've got to pick up as much coffee as you can, again, like the original Mario Brothers arcade game, where you have to pick up the coins, and it scores you on how many coins you get. And then, or I could do like a motorcycle, which is why this file is called Motor Coffee Start. And basically, you'll just be on a motorcycle, and you'll like ride through the stages, and then it'll be kind of like an auto runner. And when you hit jump, you jump. The motorcycle like kind of pops a wheelie in the air, and then you can jump up on platforms and keep going. Something like that. Just something basic. Again, I feel like I put a lot more effort into the music than I do into everything else. And then I compose some boss music. I'm not really great at boss music. I made it today. It's not that good, but oh well. and it just loops from there. Um, I also one thing that I there's gonna be a few features for Delivery Deluxe that I know I will add, and this is again this is a future thing down the line. But since this video is about delivery, it's I might as well mention it. This is a project that I'm planning on doing later down the line. That way, I can get more familiar with Godot, and that when I do make Delivery Deluxe, it really is a better experience than the first, and not just it's just the same game again, but with bug fixes and some tacked on features that don't really fit. I kind of want to rework the current game as it is, kind of start from scratch, and make something like really good with it. But one feature that I know will be added is a high score system where your score will be saved, and then you can like input names. They'll just be saved locally. Nothing like like a leaderboard or whatever. I don't even think leaderboards really exist. Really, do they? Like, do they still? I don't think I've seen a game with a leaderboard in a while. But no, just something like you get to a certain amount of points. Of course, you get the high score, and then it'll maybe save like your top 5 high scores. And then when you get to the high score name entry screen, it'll play the. Yeah, just a little ditty, I guess. I don't know. I like it. And then if you just get on the normal scoreboard, not the high score, you just get a. You know, the same tune, but a little more. I wouldn't say solemn, but you know, not as energetic as the other one. But yeah, there's a lot of ideas that I have bouncing around for the game. Um, but um, the link will be in the description for the game if you guys are interested in playing, and I hope that it's something that you like. Maybe you'll find it enjoyable. So stay safe, y'all, and I'll see you guys in another video sometime whenever I start another project too big for my bridges. See ya.